Oh, I turn the camera on and off, like here I am, da 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 da, and I clicked it off. So maybe there's something about a false start or self-consciousness, or cutting somebody short, or starting to speak about something and then suddenly feeling like, oh, I'm in deep water. I didn't even know. Put on your hip waders. I live near the ocean, and the fishermen wear rubber boots that come up to their hips so that they can stay dry and, relatively dry. Hip waders. And I've sometimes suggested to people who I wanted to have a deep conversation with, that's how I'll begin it, is like, put on your hip waders. I'm going deep here. And so let's see what that's about. Energies flow to you or emanate from you, written on a note here. But it isn't quite that simple. It can be the energies coming towards you can affect what's flowing out of you, and vice versa. We're in a kind of exchange always with our environment or the people around us, or even our present selves with our old selves, because there are things we've left behind and we've changed, we've shed a skin. The only other thing I was thinking about this morning was I have a friend who is feeling very sad about their, not all the time, but they drop into this sadness about their life, or about how other people, the energy's flowing to them. And I said to this person, I think you're depressed. They were isolating. And I mean, I'm familiar with depression, and this feeling you get of contact is abrasive somehow. To be in crowds, it's a terrible place for an empath, kind of thing. So let's see what that's about. Oh yeah. That's a blocking energy that, I can't, there aren't any malls anymore, I don't think, but I don't do well in crowds. I really don't. I get into a kind of panic mode because there's so many, I can feel the energy of, that sounds sort of highfalutin, but I just have, with all the people walking by, so there's a degree of shutdown. I don't understand. I can't take it all in, so I'll just block. It's kind of like blocking without a filter. Blocking the whole schmear out. And it's your nervous system doing it. It's your sword energy. The brain that can't process it all. Can't process it all. And maybe then can't process at all. What's this Two of Swords about? Like talking your way into a corner, thinking your way into a corner. I used to do that in malls. I'd find a corner and back into it, because another card of confusion or too many options. You can't decide what you feel. Cups energy, what you feel. So you may back yourself into a corner, so nothing can sneak up on you. It's kind of like your brain saying, let's shut it down. Like you're looking at your phone or something, and suddenly it goes, and in this Cups energy, Seven of Cups, there are different things. I mean, the question is, what's under this cup? Let me explore this feeling or that feeling or the other feeling. And I just noticed, but there's a snake. Remember I said something about shedding skins? How we shed skins, how we change? There's a snake over here, coming up out of maybe out of the unconscious water energy, like the moon card. What do I feel? I don't know. And there's something accessing. I'm sorry, my nose is just right. We just had time change here on the East Coast. I think there are some places who don't even deal with time change. It's when we're starting to go into the dark and the government decides, okay, we need to make it darker. We're going to have daylight losings instead of daylight savings. And it's sort of the arbitrary clock setting. We have to turn back our clocks, and everybody forgets, and there are, after time change, an uptick in car crashes, and we're so affected by the natural rhythms, and we try to impose some kind of man-made, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it screws up the works. And again, there's this feeling of like a call being dropped, like something perhaps that somebody says is so confusing, the person cuts off communication. I'm not sure this is you. There's a block while somebody considers what they feel. And they're hidden. It's almost like Scorpio energy, changes afoot. Things are going to change. Time change. What the hell? And this person is having to perhaps reconsider what they feel by backing themselves into a corner, maybe by even not communicating or hanging up the phone. Or I remember in the old days of hardwire telephones, where you dial, most of you probably don't remember those, but you talk on the phone like this, blah, blah, blah. And we still do that, but there was a trick. If you were talking to somebody and I learned this as a reporter, somebody's going on and on, telling you about a tip or something, and you decide they're nuts, and you don't want to be rude and just hang up on them. You hang up on yourself in mid-sentence, so they don't know it's on your side, because you're cutting off. There's something like that. You're backed into a corner. You don't know what you feel. So you cut the communication, but in a kind of sneaky way. You hang up, you cut the communication mid-sentence, your own sentence, because you feel backed into a corner. Somebody wants an answer. They want a decision. Somebody else does. And you don't know what to say. You're confused. So you cut communication. And maybe act as if it's the other person who's cut communication. It's a kind of gaslighting thing. Tell us about the backed into a corner part. I've never looked at Two of Swords that way, but I think it's really loud here. What do you do when you're backed into a corner? Oh, wow. Bottom of the deck, Emperor. Emperor is used to being in control. Is used to knowing what to say. Is used to certainty about what's going on, and not always what they feel, though. It's like This is somebody who can be over-controlling so that they end up, let's see, backed into a corner. Emperor? Not knowing the next move, he's holding the chess piece here. I think somebody made them second guess themselves, because this person was prepared for, they had strategized what was going to be their next move, what they would do next. Fire energy. Somebody who embodies this I wouldn't say arrogance, but they may find themselves in an unusual position of somebody asks a question, they don't know how to answer it. Oh man, so they lie? Seven of Swords? They're backed into a corner, so they just find a crack in the argument or something like that, and they stop talking. They kind of slip away without an explanation because they don't have one. They're like this. I didn't expect that move. And again, I'm drawn to this little person in the background. So they lie. Or they just sneak away without an explanation. Really unusual energy for an emperor. Please explain that to me. Why are they're backed into a corner, they don't know what to say, so they lie? Or they just absent themselves? They get very defensive. I mean, there's a quiver full of arrows. There are all these things they could say. Seven of Swords. But maybe somebody's asked them about their feelings. Seven of Cups. And they don't know what to say. So they get defensive. I mean, the one arrow they're holding on to is in their hand, and it's like a knife. They're very threatened somehow. Oh boy. Under Seven of Cups, Two of Cups. They're in a state. They're maybe triggered. And usually I see this crow as somebody sounding an alarm, like a tripwire or something like that. But here I'm seeing it as this kind of squawk of somebody's cornered me about this relationship and what I feel about it. Two of Cups. Somebody's backed me into a corner about what I feel about something. Under Five of Swords. Man, this is really intense. Ten of Cups. I think they're overwhelmed by feelings. Ten of Cups. That sort of feeling everything everywhere all at once. Remember I said the thing about feeling abraded by other people because you're overwhelmed? You're backed into a corner. This person is, because they feel somehow that contact is somehow abrasive. They totally can't speak about this for some reason. They can't speak about it. Five of Pentacles, a card of loss and being left out on Seven of Swords. Somebody who cut the communication, maybe lied and split, and they left somebody out in the cold, or they think they did. But it may have been both parties out in the cold. They may have, because they didn't know what to say, they may have said goodbye. I'm out. Something like that. And they walked right into, when they lied and left, they walked right into their own feelings of abandonment. It's weird because it looks as if this person metaphorically hung up on you and split, but they feel abandoned. Or it was easier to walk back into their lonely existence, Pentacles energy. Like they don't have the key to unlock it. They don't know how to get out of this place of lack mentality, perhaps, because we have sword energy paired up with this Five of Pentacles. A lack mentality. And it might be they can't believe in this connection, and they're backed into a corner. You need to make a decision. Do you want to stay at this crossroads? Do you want to block it forever? Their own mind is asking them this, and they don't know their own mind. That's it. They don't know their own mind. They're confused emotionally. They're conflicted. So they hang up on you. They cut the connection. Two of Swords can be that, like the snippers. On Ten of Cups, Three of Swords. Cups, feelings energy, often described as heart energy. And this is anguish. This is the blasted landscape. When you're abraded by other people because you don't have the answers, maybe, you go into a kind of retreat because you don't have the answers. And I think this person, this sword energy person, may think, I've just lost my chance. I tried to block my feelings in one place, maybe for one conversation that I didn't know, I didn't have an answer to, I hadn't made a decision, I probably should have. This has been a long time. Five of Pentacles. I should understand this by now, and I don't. I don't understand my feelings. Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups. And I may have blocked this chance at real fulfillment and kind of the ultimate connection. Ten of Cups, Two of Cups. What shall I do? What do I feel? What? All the questions. And it landed them in Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords place. That's really tough energy. I ran away, I lied, I didn't have the answers, so I just, okay. On Two of Swords, we have Tower. Card of Scorpio is how I read it, and that's connections and feelings, and something got blown up. Backed into a corner, confused about what you feel. So trying to contain it somehow by saying, I don't understand, or it doesn't compute, or you hang up mid-sentence, thinking you can contain it. If you just don't say anything, Two of Swords, and it blows up on you. Scorpio energy. And this is sort of like, this person, I think, tried to stall a decision, stayed at a crossroads indefinitely, saying, I don't know, I can't decide. And it's like the emotions just could not be contained. So Emperor, who is known for their stability, you know, I know what to do, I run the show, it all makes sense to me. Tell me about the Emperor. I mean, maybe the sword person isn't the Emperor. It's the other person. I'm not sure. Let's clarify Five of Swords, the confusion, the need for a change in a way of communicating, but somebody felt backed into a corner, so they didn't talk. They didn't talk. Okay, hang on. Okay. They didn't talk. Seven of Wands. Another card of a block, of a bubble, of a retreat. They're in a kind of yogic posture in Wands energy. I was looking at the table and saying, what's the Emperor's energy? There are no wands on the table, but now there they are. Somehow the Emperor is like pulled back into a shell, which sounds sort of, it's not through lack of determination or bravery. They've gone into a kind of yoga, you know, a quietness. They've quieted their mind because they didn't know. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what they felt. So I think this is a good place. If you're an Emperor and you're used to taking action and doing things and all those attributes that the Emperor is known for, Wands energy, passion, action, certainty, stability. Right now, the way they can regain their stability is to isolate. So their lack of communication isn't like arbitrary or it's not something they do flippantly, or they feel like it's their last option, or their, you know. But something came along and blew up their bubble. So now we're going to learn a little bit more about the Emperor. Okay, bottom of the deck, Eight of Wands. Big shift in the Wands energy. This is a desire to communicate. Desire, Wands energy. Passion. You know, something coming to, it's that energies flowing to you or emanating from you. This is both. They flow in and they go out. It's like a conversation, two-way conversation. Not this. I don't understand. This is freaking me out, so I'll hang up and go into this silent mode. But perhaps this Emperor person, a fire sign, is ready to talk. They might be just wanting to open up kind of a, okay, please stop, telepathic communication. King of Swords, this sword person. although it could be a Scorpio or an Aries. All the energies at play here of feelings, fire, passion, purpose. How do I reconcile? Well, I think they've shifted from Seven of Wands, that bubble place, to like, let's open up communication. All these things we held at bay. Not talking, in a kind of meditative place, trying to figure it out. And suddenly, Eight of Wands, bursting out of the bubble, receiving the energies, giving them. They were in a place of like, no talk, no touch. I say that a lot about, I think, this other person. King of Swords, who is communicative, for sure. They're sword energies. They're smart. They don't always express themselves well. I mean, it's the irony of that Aquarian energy. Sometimes being so high above a situation, wanting this analytical remove. Ace of Wands. Well, they're fired up about something. The personal, the Ace card. They're suddenly having a vision of what it could be. They've retreated. I don't know why it's all about them at the moment, but it is. I mean, I think you're coming into play as the energy they're now ready to receive. But in the quiet, they started getting these perhaps downloads, or they opened up the conversation because now they have a vision. They're no longer confused, Five of Swords, about what they're hearing or what they're saying. They're getting a vision of it. Is that on Two of Cups? Okay, not on Two of Cups. Let's continue with this Ace of Wands, the inspiration, the vision. Wow, now they can manifest. Virgo, Gemini. They can bring that above energy of Aquarius. I see the greater pattern, the long-range, wider lens perspective. I know that now, Gemini, so I know what to manifest and bring in. I have a vision of it now. And it's almost like they're scrying, a divination where you look into the water. It's like looking into the crystal ball. I thought I picked up the crystal ball this morning. I don't know where I put it, but here's another one. It's like they're looking into the crystal ball or into the dazzling water, and the energy is flowing both ways. They're getting a vision of it. And it reflects in their 3D life as much as they can give right now. This is as much as they have to offer. So they're manifesting some kind of small, concrete offer based on a vision. They're bringing it through into earth energy, into their real life. They want to move into cooperative energy. They do, but they don't know how to talk about it, so it's been kind of blocked for a long time, at a crossroads. Suddenly overwhelmed by feelings. So for a while they pull up the drawbridge. They go into retreat in order to meditate on it and decide what to say. to kind of suss out the feelings coming toward them and emanating from them, because they're not used to operating from emotion. Emperor is a lot of things, but over emotional, not really an attribute. But this emperor has suddenly gone through some change in their life where they want to give and receive, create a life, Pentacles energy, with someone. It's clarifying Two of Cups. They want to take their feelings for you and your feelings for them and weave it into 3D life. And on Seven of Cups, Hangman. Well, that's exactly this energy. Card of Pisces, emotional consideration. And Seven of Cups, Cups energy, water energy like Pisces. This is a card of being hung up while you're processing the feelings. I can't figure it out. I'm considering it. I can't move until I figure it out. And part of maybe what they're trying to figure out is how to bring it into 3D. They're adept. They're a major manifester. And now they have the vision because they've done this Seven of Wands business of going into the meditative bubble. They've brought something through. They went into isolation. This person for the purpose, Wands energy, the purpose of I think figuring out why they felt back into a corner, why they didn't want to talk. I mean, they didn't even know. So how are they going to explain it to you? Until they figure it out. Figure it out. And they did. That's what this Emperor has been doing. Wands energy. How to communicate, how to talk, what to say about something that is so important to them, holds such emotional, like potential energy. They got scared, they said the wrong thing, they hurt you both. That's not what they want to do. They want to make it real. Reestablish communication. And they may have figured out how. They're rebuilding, they're coming back in from the cold and showing themselves, being present, but perhaps in a little way at first. They're trying to figure out, how do I reestablish communication? They're going to do it, I would say. Emperor, Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands. They've meditated long enough. They've gotten the downloads. They're ready to talk. They were absolutely in suspension for a while, Hangman, because they didn't understand their own mind. So they were blocked. The block, I think, is removed, and then there's this explosive emotional recognition, or just, it's as if the facade has been ripped away. They feel vulnerable. They felt their way through it. And now they appear to be ready to make a small offer. And more important is this energy exchange, which is passionate and true and heartfelt and hot. They have a vision now. They figured something out. not backed into a corner anymore. But see, the lines of communication up here are down. So they're really going to have to figure out a way to speak, to put it into words. And listen, we all get a little blah, blah, blah if we're trying to talk about deep emotion and deep emotional upheaval, tower energy, and hurt, dealt and received. At one point, the flow of communication was like arrows in the heart. You know, kind of like piercing. So every cup had a leak in it. Things were draining away. Now they want to build it back. It will take time. They know it. That's one of the things they've understood. This could all be you. But it is, there's somebody else on the other end of this conversation. And I think you love them. And I think they love you. They just don't know how to talk about it. So that's part of what they're learning. That's part of what they're processing. How do you put love into words? Well, a little bit, you just begin. You just begin. You say something. You show something based on inspiration and intuition. It doesn't have to be all about figuring something out intellectually or, Sword energy, that thinking process, has not advanced the cause. 2 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 3 of Swords, all of which are just shitty sword energy. Now there's a chance to begin. To rebuild cooperation, to rebuild something real in our 3D lives. Okay, we have on the board Aries in the Emperor, this fire bearer. We have Pisces in Hangman. Scorpio, another card of water energy in the Tower. Virgo, Gemini in Magician. We also have 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups. And these 2 cards of maybe processing, something was exploded, the emotions could no longer be contained, but there was confusion. So now there's a processing period. And I think I don't really have a timing card here. I mean, Scorpio time is when the emotions will erupt. Then there's a suspension where they have to process. A time of non-action where they're just trying to figure out what they feel. And then figure out how to talk about it. So it sort of happens in stages. That's why it's taken a while. They have to think it through, feel it through, take action on it, talk about it. It's a process, but it's underway, I think. I feel, I intuit. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm stunned. I looked the other day at the demographics, which I don't do very often, but I just dipped into it to see the geography. And it absolutely blew my mind. It's like we're connected, World Wide Web. There are a lot of us from every place, converging on this point. And you're the fuel. You fuel the channel. There's that energy flow back and forth. And you better believe that I need your energy in order to give it out again. It's a conversation. It's an energy exchange. So I'm very grateful to you. And I'll be here next time.